Today, you will learn how to master the new buff Caustic in Apex Legends. He's no longer just your bunker trapper. With his reworked passive, deadlier traps, and a stronger ultimate, Caustic has become one of the most dangerous legends in the game. But I want to show you the buffs. I'll show you how to use every part of his kit to dominate in this complete guide. My name is Sonyx, and welcome to the most up-to-date Caustic guide out there. You can't miss this one. Let's dive right in. Caustic belongs to the controller class, and this gives him a few unique passive abilities. The first is access to ring consoles. Caustic can scan ring consoles to reveal the next circle's location, which lets him bunker down in the strongest zones ahead of time. And in Season 26, scanning a ring console also spawns an evac tower. That's huge because controller legends used to struggle with mobility. Now Caustic not only controls zones, but also gains movement tools that rival skirmisher legends. And here's a tiny trick that you might not know. You actually have the option to spawn the evac tower or not. If you only want to scan the ring without revealing your location, hold the interact just long enough to scan, then let go immediately. The evac won't deploy. But if you keep holding interact, that's when it spawns. And here's the coolest part. If another legend scans a console and the tower doesn't spawn, you can still spawn it yourself later just by pressing interact. The second is zone overcharge. While standing inside the current safe zone, Caustic gains 25 extra shield capacity and slowly regenerates shields. This means at white armor, you're technically at blue you're technically at purple, and so on. It's free survivability just for playing zone correctly. And the third is fortified, which is specific to Caustic's size. Because of his larger hitbox, he gets 15% damage reduction on all incoming shots except headshots, and he's not slowed by bullets. When he's stacked fortified with zone overcharge, Caustic essentially becomes a heavy tank, able to win 1v1s and hold his ground in extended gunfights. Now here's a quick tip. Since Caustic doesn't get slowed by bullets, you can confidently pull off more movement techs because you'll never lose momentum. And I'll tell you right now, a wall bouncing Caustic is very scary. Caustic's new passive is Field Research, and it makes him stronger the longer the match goes on. You gain research points by damaging enemies with your gas, opening unique death boxes, and scanning ring consoles. Every 100 points gives you an upgrade for your perk tree, up to a maximum of 200 points. And unlike other legends, Caustic can eventually unlock all 4 perks at once. Here's how the points break down. Every tick of gas gives you around 5 points, and it ramps up every other tick to about 7. Knocking an enemy through your gas gives you a big chunk, around 50 points. And if you open up a death box from a player you knocked and finished, that's another 30 points. And every ring console you scan adds 40 points, so always be scanning to accelerate your upgrades. At 100 points, you unlock a level 2 perk. At 200 points, you unlock a level 3 perk. Now if you've already picked one, the other perk will automatically unlock when you hit that threshold, meaning Caustic can have all 4 perks at once. This scaling passive makes Caustic very deadly in Season 26. The longer you play smart, the stronger he becomes. And don't worry, I'll break down the perk tree detail at this timestamp here. Caustic's tactical is Nox Gas Trap. Canisters that release deadly gas when shot at or when enemies wander too close. You can hold 3 charges at once and place up to 6 traps on the map at once. Once triggered, the gas cloud deals damage directly to health, ignoring shields, and the longer enemies stay inside, the higher the damage ramps. Each barrel can be destroyed if enemies shoot the base, but it's activated if you shoot the top or the barrel itself. It erupts into a gas cloud that lingers for a long duration. And in Season 26, these traps were massively buffed. They now activate earlier while inflating, the toss and stow times are slightly quicker, and the effective ranges are larger, with both the trigger radius and the gas radius expanded. The cloud also lasts twice as long, going from 11 seconds to 22, and the damage ramp was raised from 10 to 14 per tick, up from the old 4 through 10. Making the gas much more punishing if enemies get trapped inside. Caustic also sees very clearly in his own gas, while enemies get new threat indicators warning that they're being damaged. The gas also grounds enemies, instantly slowing them and draining their movement cooldowns even if they're mid-air. The only counterbalance is that gas is now reactive, meaning grenades and certain abilities can disable it for 5 seconds. There are 3 main ways to use Caustic's tactical. The first way is door control and bunkering down. One of Caustic's strongest tactics is locking down entire buildings. Place traps in doorways to secure a house, fortify your team's position, and deny enemy pushes. Most enemies won't even try to enter Caustic fortified house because they know they'll lose that fight. And as a bonus, your traps act like active recon, alerting you the second someone tries to breach. For door play specifically, Caustic is unmatched. You can place a trap directly behind a closed door to block it, forcing enemies to kick it twice and trigger the gas, or shoot the trap and take damage. Either way, they're punished. You can even stack traps behind double doors to guarantee that enemies can't force their way in without feeding you information and free damage. The second way is immediate cover. In panic situations or bad spots, your trap become lifesavers. With the new buffs, you can throw multiple canisters around you to build a mini house anywhere on the map. This not only blocks vision, but also buys you enough time to heal or reload, even in the middle of an open field. By weaving in and out of your gas, you can reset fights, disorient enemies, and even wipe squads that thought they had you pinned. This strategy also shines when reviving or shielding teammates. Drop a trap on a knocked ally or next to your revive and the gas cloud becomes a wall of protection. Enemies can't push cleanly without taking massive damage and losing their aim, which almost always buys you the time you need to stabilize. The third way is aggression and pushing. Caustic isn't just defensive. You can play hyper aggressive with traps. Throw them like grenades into enemy cover. If they waste time shooting at them, you push, and if they don't, they start taking damage. Either way, you win. You can also use traps as moving cover. Place one in front of you, shoot over it while it soaks bullets, crack an enemy, then throw another trap and keep advancing. This creates a cycle where you're constantly aggressive yet protected. And here's a powerful mid-fight strategy. If an enemy team is pushing, throw a trap directly between you and them. Most players will panic and backpedal, giving up space and even turning their backs. That hesitation is all you need to secure free kills and flip the fight in your favor. Now here's a pro tip. Enemies caught in Caustic's gas are highlighted green, and this makes them a direct counter to Bangalore. If she smokes, drop a trap and you'll see every enemy glowing through the cloud while they're completely blind. Especially with Bangalore's high pick rate at the moment, using your own gas ensures you can always see through Bangalore's smoke. Caustic's ultimate is called Nox Gas Grenade, and it's one of the most impressive abilities in the entire game. When thrown, it blankets a massive area in Nox gas, dealing damage over time, blinding enemies and forcing them out of cover. And in Season 26, it was buffed across the board. The cooldown is now only 2 minutes instead of 3, the toss and stow times are slightly faster, the projectile speed is increased, and the gas cloud lasts 20 seconds instead of 15. These buffs make the ultimate far more reliable and far more dangerous in every fight. Now there are 4 main ways to use Caustic's ultimate. The first way is pushing. Throw your ultimate directly in enemy squads, preferably indoors where they have the least chance to escape. Once inside the gas, enemies start taking ramping damage. Their vision is blocked, makes it nearly impossible for them to fight back. This gives you the perfect opening to push in and secure kills. In fact, if you knock somebody, popping your ultimate to follow up is a perfect way to 1v3. And even if your push doesn't completely wipe them, most teams will abandon the building rather than fight in your gas. This will give you control of a fortified position, which you can then bunker down and turn into a power spot for the rest of the match. The second way is funneling. Unlike your traps, the ultimate cannot be destroyed. This means enemies have no choice but to take the damage or retreat. Most of the time they'll panic and run, which funnels them into worse positions, usually right in the line of your sight. You can plan around this by using the ult to cut off exits or force them into your crosshair. And if you're running a Gibraltar in your team, the combo is devastating. You throw your ult inside, they're forced to escape, and Gibby drops his ult outside. No matter where they go, they're dead. The third way is defense. The gas grenade is also a lifesaver when your team is under pressure. If a teammate goes down or you're being collapsed on, drop your ultimate to buy space. The gas instantly creates separation, blocks vision, and makes enemies think twice about pushing. The window often gives you just enough time to get a revive off, reset with heals, or even reposition. Smart defensive ults can flip a fight by stalling out the enemy's momentum and forcing them to wait while you recover. The fourth way is endgame domination. Caustic shines brightest in final rings. When the circle is closing and space is tight, no other ultimate comes close to his. Drop the Nox Gas Grenade and layer it with your traps, and entire squads are trapped in chaos. The gas forces damages whether they like it or not, and because the ring itself is doing even more damage in the final zones, enemies are left with no good options. They either burn in your gas or die to the ring. This is why Caustic is considered one of the strongest legends in endgame. His kit can outright win you matches against full healthy squads. Now moving on to Caustic's legend perk abilities, starting at level 2. The first option is extra traps. This gives you one more tactical and increases the maximum number of traps you can place from 6 to 8. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means instead of juggling 3 charges, you're holding 4, and you can flood the battlefield with more gas than ever before. This is very powerful because it lets you both fortify buildings and still keep extra barrels for rotations or open field cover. The second option is breathe it in. While you're inside your own gas, you passively regenerate health. In clutch moments, this basically turns your traps into mini lifeline drones or built-in Phoenix kits. All you need to do is focus on healing your shields, and your gas will keep topping off your HP automatically. This can mean the difference between winning and losing those chaotic endgame fights. At level 3, the recommended perk is Gas Fighter. This makes your tactical recharge 300% faster while inside your gas. In practice, this means you can keep placing traps almost instantly, chaining gas clouds together until enemies are completely overwhelmed. The other level 3 option is Particle Diffuser, which increases your ultimate radius by 50%. It's more situational, but in late game circles, it can completely dominate entire zones and suffocate squads that are forced to play in your gas. But honestly, it doesn't really matter what perks you choose first, because remember, thanks to Caustic's passive field research, you can eventually unlock all 4 in a single match. With all 4 perks active, Caustic becomes an unstoppable machine, especially during endgame where gas is king. As you can tell, Caustic is absolutely overpowered in Season 26. His gas is deadlier, his traps are stronger, and his ultimate can win entire endgames by itself. No other legend controls space like Caustic, and if you play him right, every building, every rotation, and every final ring belongs to you. And here's some great news. Very soon I'll also be offering one-on-one coaching sessions. If you're interested, make sure to join the Discord for more information. The link's in the bio and the description below. Now, a lot of you have been asking what the best controllers are, so I put together a well-researched list depending on your platform. You'll see those products featured right here. And if you also want to know the gear I use myself, my Amazon storefront page has everything in one place to help you level up your gameplay and content creation. All these links are down below. And if you want to keep climbing, Bangalore is another insane legend this season. Click here to learn how to master her recent buffs. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sonyx. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and please never forget to take care.